All right, everyone, it's 2 p.m. It's 2:01. Let's already start the meeting. Back, Charlie. Good afternoon. Just for records purposes, let's have the determination of quorum, please. Secretariat, do you have a quorum?
Yes, sir, we have a quorum.
Let's do the roll call, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. For this back Charlie meeting, this meeting is being streamed online through the CAAP YouTube channel. Please acknowledge once your name is called. Presiding Officer, Attorney Roberto Martin Benaventura,
Present.
Lieutenant Colonel Valentino Janela,
Present.
Miss Jocelyn Ching,
Present.
Miss Amneris Gabriel.
Present. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Miss Diana Ines Briñas.
Present online.
Good afternoon, ma'am. From our end user from the ANS. For the back technical working group, our head, Attorney Frank Edward Marty,
Present.
Attorney Edelisa Irugin,
Present.
Engineer Hubert Tamatak, Engineer Michael Macabenta, Engineer Lolita Hubay,
Present.
Engineer Jofer and Joseph Torrefranca,
Present.
and Miss Maria Cristina Balonan. For the back secretariat,
Present po.
Good afternoon, ma'am. For the back secretariat or overall head, Dr. Rolly Bayaban, Irish Presion, Attorney Bo Basiglat, Engineer Sonny Villabert, and our
Present.
Good afternoon, sir. And our minutes taker for today's meeting, GK Garcia Aniscol. Sir, also in attendance are other members of the back secretariat and our observers from the DOTR, Mr. Abelardo Sore, from the COA and IAS, sir, and the procurement division. We also sent our invitation letters to the PCCI and ASFI. That's all, sir.
All right, thank you for that. Considering we have a quorum, let's already proceed with the primary items in the agenda. The first item is the opening of bids for the purchase and installation of communication equipment for Calbayog Airport, a rebid amounting to 13,200,000 pesos, an ANS DOTR downloaded project. Please tell me merong nag-submit, sir.
No, sir, wala pong nag-submit.
Wala talaga, wala na naman.
Yes, sir.
This is already evaluated. Nag-fail na to before, twice. Nag-negotiate, fail.
Sir, fail na to once pa lang at Sir Joffet, no? Pagkatapos, ni-review ng ANS yung technical specifications as well as the pricing, and then
So this is only the second
the second, sir.
failure.
Yes, sir.
So from here, the recommendation would be for the declaration of failure again, we can opt to avail for the negotiated procurement method. Tama ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair. However, Mr. Chair, considering that there are no interested bidders, it would be difficult as well for the BAC to invite who among the market players or providers to be invited, considering that they're not interested to participate in this project.
Are we limited to those who supposedly previously submit? Aren't we allowed to seek out other capable contractors for this?
We are allowed, Mr. Chair, to also invite other bidders who are who are capable of providing the requirements of ANS.
Sige, before we get there, there's no bidders. Let's just go through the process accordingly. There's no bidders. What is the recommendation of the TWG for this particular project?
Mr. Chair, we actually have two recommendations. Depending upon the decision of the BAC. First is we go through. We declare the failure of bidding, and next is to proceed with the negotiation. Or
No. Attorney Frank, that's why I said let's proceed first. Let's go with the failure first.
Okay.
And then let's discuss the options later together with the TWG and the end user to
Okay,
know
sir.
what is the pleasure of the end user for this case. But paramount right now is for us to determine what's gonna happen for this, which is since walang bidder, it's going to be a failure.
Yes, sir.
So let's go with that first.
Yeah, the technical working group, sir, respectfully recommends the declaration of failure for this particular project, considering that there is no bidder interested to participate for the purchase and installation of communication equipment for Calbayog Airport.
All right. Do we have any comments from the members? If there's none, let's have a motion, please.
Through the chair,
Yes, sir.
I move for the approval of the recommendations of the technical working group.
Thank you, sir. Is there any second?
I second the motion, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, ma'am. There being a motion duly seconded, let this project entitled Purchase and Installation of Communication Equipment for Calbayog Airport rebid be declared a failure of bidding for the reason that no bidders have submitted bids for this project. Okay, so here at this juncture, let's open the discussion for how to move forward with this. As a background, this is already the second failure. And under the GPPB rules, we do have a certain set of options to avail of, but that will depend on the discussion of the BAC. So, dito na yan, Attorney Frank, maybe you can discuss the options.
I saw it. Yes, sir. The technical working group, actually, Mr. Chair, discussed earlier as to how we proceed, the options on how we proceed with this project. First, we can actually go for the negotiation. This would expedite the procurement procedures. However, we are thinking as to sino yung i-invite natin, considering that they are not really interested to participate. Well, maybe because we don't know the price is not that attractive to the bidders, or maybe something with the technical specification issues. The second option, Mr. Chair, is that for the end user to again go over the documents and review again the pricing, maybe consider the market price of these particular items. So with that, Mr. Chair, we would it would be proper to seek the comments as well from the end user as to how would this project would proceed.
All right, thank you, Attorney Frank. Do you have the end user in the room? Sir Arnold, I see your name. Sir,
Yes, yes,
failure na
Attorney.
naman tayo, sir. Ano po ang natin? Ano po ang pleasure ng end user for this?
We will try again to request for a quotation from the possible supplier of this equipment. I think that is the only one that we could do in order to have a reference in preparing the program of work. The reason for not submitting any proposal could not be conclude that the price is not is the EBC is not fit to the project. So we really need a quotation from the possible bidder. So we will be requesting again. So if there is still failure of bidding, then we will request that it will be returned again to the end user, and then we will be again requesting for a quotation for the prospective bidders and other suppliers.
Okay, sir. I reckon with that, we're talking about subjecting this to rebidding, subject to the changes in the terms of reference upon consultation or getting the quotation from the possible contractors. Tama po ba?
Yes, sir.
Ano, sir? Sorry?
Is this the second time already? Or
This is the
third
second time, sir. So we had, right now, we have the option to proceed with the negotiated procurement, or under the GPPB rules, we can subject this for rebidding, subject to the revision of review and revision of the terms of reference by the end user. Yun po ang option natin. And as we've been talking about this for a while now, the reason why we haven't been receiving bids for this is because we're saying masyadong mababa yung ABC. Tama, sir?
That we have no document for that, but it's only hearsay, Attorney.
Wala tayong makuhang basis nun
Yes, po.
sa pricing na that would be um, na gusto ng mga possible contractors. And the recommendation now of the TWG is for the conduct of rebidding. Tama, Attorney Frank? Not negotiated.
Sir, hearing from the end user, sir, we are recommending that the bid documents be returned to ANS for further review and study and proceed with rebidding.
Yeah, the reason why negotiated is not being recommended by the TWG is that under the rules of negotiated procurement, we're supposed to invite those who have previously joined or submitted bids on the failed bids. But in this case, for all the biddings we've done, walang nag-submit. So wala tayong makukuha wala tayong mabibigyan ng invitation. That's what you're saying?
Yes, Mr. Chair, and also, Mr. Chair, we are thinking that baka lang din mag-fail lang din yung negotiation kasi parang, well, we already identified kung sino yung mga possible supplier, pero parang it looks like hindi din naman sila interested, so they might not join the negotiation. So sayang lang din yung time. Might as well revert the documents to ANS and have this further studied.
Oh, sige.
Sir
Sir Arnold, do you have any comments on that?
I agree with the proposal of TWG, the chair. That will shorten actually the process rather than going to negotiation and then failed again. So I agree with the recommendation TWG.
All right, understood, sir. With that, let me just open it for the members. Do you have any comments or queries on the recommendation?
Through the chair.
Through the chair.
Si Colonel Jonella and then si Ma'am Vanny. Colonel Jonix?
Well, for me, yung observations ko rito, yung ABC is no longer attractive doon sa kwan eh. Sa mga suppliers, if we have the chance to get the real price of that equipment, if there's really a chance to get the real price of that equipment, then, because the point here is nobody's interested to go on this kind of process because they know exactly that the price is not attractive. Hindi sila kikita rito. That's the point there.
All right, thank you, sir. Ma'am Vanny?
Yes, sir. One concern is, the question in my mind is this the first time that we are going to have a bidding on this kind of project? I mean, the specs of this project. If not, did we had a comparison on the previous projects that had a similar, I mean, specs, as far as specs is concerned and pricing for that matter? If it's really below the previously deliberated project, so why do we have to, I mean, go with this project if we know that the price is not really acceptable to the bidders? However, if we have a similar project with the similar specs and amount, how come nobody is interested now if we were able to come up with a bidding before? Or if we did a negotiation, what was the negotiated amount? And I mean, we should have that at least similar amount too for this project.
Through the chair.
Yes, yes,
May
sir.
I respond? Yes, ma'am. Actually, we have a project for Davao and Mactan control tower. This project were procured, I think, 2018. And those are we have the same, actually, the specification is the same, but possibly the quantity might be reduced because we removed some accessories already. So the amount during for Davao and Mactan is less than 30,000, 30 million. And I think, I'm not sure with the proposed ABC right now, but that is only our reference. We apply some what they call it, the depreciation or the value for money, some changes, but I think that is the only reference that we have. We don't have any other reference.
So, through the chair.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
as I understand it, from the previous project that we have, you have to consider the appreciation versus the year that ran already.
Yes, I think may I request Jopet to give more clarity on the uh, application of appreciation of the amount or changes of the amount from 2018 to present, Jopet or Rose.
Go ahead, sir. Sir Jopet.
If I may, Mr. Chair. Um, um, there was already a revision of the scope. Actually, ang model po natin is yung Legazpi na project. And we already, before the bidding, there was already an instruction from the previous BAC to revise or review the requirements, including the pricing. So what ANS did was to make a comparative of the pricing between the current prices used at saka yung um, uh, previously contracted prices on the same equipment na type, and we considered the middle pricing for this project, and also the pricing of Calbayog is also already based on the Bicol pricing, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Sir Jopet. So it appears, actually, from the previous one, tumaas na to, no, sir? Tama ba? Tumaas na ABC natin.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Because it has already been raised before and you have done your research on it and your further study. And this is the result of it. And still, wala pa rin nagbibid. So it really needs to be looked into further kung ano bang dapat gawin. Ma'am Vanny, do you still have any more comments, ma'am?
Yun lang sir, siguro, yun lang. If nabanggit din kasi ni Engineer Arnold, hindi tayo sigurado if the price is really the cost for, that's why nobody's bidding. So, siguro din, yung specs, baka is it really available in the market? Yung mga ganong issue ba? If it's not the price, then what would it be?
All right. The more reason that the recommendation is really for it to be revisited by the end user and to review again the documents and the terms. Okay. Other members, do we have any comments?
To the chair,
Yes,
can I
ma'am.
make um maybe it is not the BC that's the problem. Maybe it's the importation or duties, or delays in manufacturing that is the also a concern that the ANs can look into.
Okay, ma'am. Sir Arnold, would you want to say something about that?
Yeah, Attorney, this is for Calbayog, isn't it? Ay, Calbayog
Calbayog po.
or Calbayog. So this is the same situation for Bicol and Tacloban. So if this will be returned to end user, are the other two will be returned also?
Ma'am Dayan?
Yes, I think it would be better to look into all the projects already so that we will really know where the problem lies.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you po. Do you have anything else? If there's no more, maybe we can have a proper motion on this. Again, the recommendation is for since it's already been declared a failure, that the next step would be for the project, the bid to be returned to the end user for further review. And then we will deliberate again on on the rebidding of the project once it's already reviewed and ready. Do you have any motions?
Through the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I so move to return the project to the end user for further review and once finalized to return to the uh, back committee for proper action.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there any second?
I seconded.
Thank you, sir. Okay. All right. Considering that the project has already been declared a failure, let this project be returned to the end user for further review and for the end user to resubmit it to back for rebidding once the terms has already been settled and reviewed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Let's move forward to the next item on the agenda. We have again the opening of bids for the project entitled Purchase Installation of Communications Equipment for Bicol New Legazpi International Airport, which is also a rebid amounting to 22,904,000 pesos, an ANS DOTR downloaded project. Meron tayong submissions? Wala rin.
None, sir.
Wala talaga may gusto mag-bid, Sir Arnold. This is this similarly situated? How many times has this failed?
Twice
This will
already.
be the second.
This is the second. So this is also supposedly for negotiated. Okay, primarily let's first decide on the on whether or not this will be filled. Members, do you have any questions? Recommendation of the TWG.
Mr. Chair, we recommend that this project, purchase, installation, communication equipment for new Bicol Legazpi International Airport be declared a failure for having no bidders interested to participate for this procurement activity. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, do you have any motion?
To the chair,
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
I move for the declaration of failure of bidding as recommended by the TWG.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Is there any second?
Second.
Thank you, ma'am. There being a motion, duly seconded, let this project entitled Purchase Installation of Communications Equipment for Bicol New Legazpi International Airport rebid be declared a failure, considering that no bids have been submitted for it. All right. Moving forward, what is the recommended action of the TWG?
The same as item 2.1, Mr. Chair, for the bid documents to be reverted to the end user for review and further study.
And for rebid.
Yes, sir, for rebid.
Before we proceed with that, is it also similarly situated to Calbayog? Walang nagbid for the first and second time?
Yes, sir.
So we have no reference as to whom we will send the negotiations invitation to. Okay. Do we have any comments from our members?
Through
If
the
there's
chair.
none, maybe we can have a motion.
Yes, through the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I-take two na lang, sir. I so move to return the project to the end user for further review and upon completion is to return to the back for action.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Is there any second?
I seconded.
Thank you, sir. There being a motion, duly seconded, that this project entitled Purchase and Installation of a Communications Equipment for Bicol New Legazpi International Airport rebid be returned or remanded to the end user for further evaluation and review. And once the terms of reference has been updated, if necessary, let it be resubmitted to back for rebidding. Okay? Thank you. Moving on to the next item on the agenda, we have the purchase and installation of meteorological instruments for Calbayog Airport, amounting to 12,541,613 pesos, an ANS DOTR downloaded project. Wala din?
None, sir.
Okay.
Sir, this
Mahirap
is the first failure.
This is only the first.
This is the
Okay.
first.
So this is not proposed for negotiated.
Yes, sir. We are recommending actually this for the rebid.
Rebid. All right. No need to change the terms for this one?
What is the reasons of the failure?
Sir, this is the first time that we procure, or I mean, we submit the project for procurement. So, apparently, no interested bidders would want to
Yes,
participate.
but similarly, under the rules of GPPB, upon failure, we can recommend for rebid, or the same way we can recommend for the review of the terms of reference for determination of the need to update the same or revise it.
Yes, sir.
So we're no longer returning it. We're just gonna submit it for rebid.
Sir, may we request comments from the end user, sir? Maybe they would want to review also this document, or
Okay.
they will push for the rebidding of this.
Sir Arnold, what's your comment on this, sir?
Uh, we will request for rebidding, sir, because actually for the other airport like Bicol International Airport, we have a bidder and we just award the project for weather instrument. So we are hoping that for the second time, for second bidding, there will be a bidder.
All right, sige. Since that's also the pleasure of the end user, the recommendation right now is for the declaration of failure for this project and subsequently for the conduct of free bidding for the same without necessarily changing the terms. Is there any comments or questions from the members? If there's none, can we have a motion?
Through the chair.
Yes, Ma'am Joyce.
Sir, question lang po, being new as member ng BAC. Sir, meron bang sumali rito during the pre-bid conference?
Asan siya? Hindi siya nag-submit.
Yeah, that's a good question. During pre-bid conference.
Yeah, but of course, people join the pre-bid conference regardless of whether or not they will buy the bid docs in the first place. That's actually for them to determine whether they want to. But have we checked with them?
Per records, Mr. Chair, no companies or no bidders, prospective bidders attended the pre-bidding conference.
Walang nag-attend
Wala po,
per
sir.
our minutes. Wala daw, ma'am.
Baka kasi we might expect na ganito rin mangyari ulit sa pagka magre-rebid tayo.
Sir, may I have a
For me,
manifestation?
that's my feeling also na I would strongly recommend na ibalik ulit sa end user to review the code.
To review the terms?
Yes, so.
Sir, sir, may I have manifestation?
Sir Arnold is saying something, sir?
Unlike the communications equipment, wherein we request that it will be returned to us, the weather instrument project in Bicol is awarded. So, kung ibig sabihin nun, may malaking posibilidad na mayroong magbibid in the second bidding. Kasi, yun nga, katatapos lang natin i-award yung project sa Bicol ng AWOS. So, yun nga, kaya we are requesting that
Awas
there will
din po
be
ba ito,
a
sir?
bidding. Weather instrument, sir, mas maliit kasi yan eh. Hindi tulad ng AWOS yan, mas malaki. So, weather instrument, ibig sabihin mga sensor yan, pero some component are the same. Mas maliit lang na component, mas maliit lang na system ito compared doon sa AWOS ng Bicol.
Okay. Sir Jonix, I still have something to manifest, sir?
Sir Arnold, comparing itong equipment na ito doon sa isang AWOS na sinasabi mo mas malaki, gaano kalaki ang difference ng ABC nila?
Jupet, pwede bang iyan mo to? Jupet? May request, Jupet?
If I
Wala
may,
bang
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
the ABC is 32M, 35 million. Yeah. This project is 12.5 million, Mr. Chair.
Di ba rinig?
Almost 23M ang difference niya, no? 35 and 12.
But as Sir Arnold, you're saying that's mas malaki yun. But it serves the same purpose, pretty much. Tama po ba? Hindi rin? Iba siya totally from AWOS?
If I may, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, sorry, medyo technical kasi, so we want to understand better compared to the other projects.
Yes, Mr.
Go ahead, Sir Jopet.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the requirements for Calbayog Airport, these are small systems composing of uh, w- the the wind, temperature, and pressure sensors only. But for the AWOS, it includes the runway visual range and cloud oscillometer. And these are what you call the full system for an operation of a Cat 1 runway. But for the Calbayog requirements, these are designed for just small airports, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you for that, Sir Jopet. Okay, so I guess in deliberating this one, maybe may I just request for the members, let's just treat it separately kasi we might be baka nadadala tayo because the first two have the same similar situation, but this third one apparently is not under the same circumstances, and per the manifestation of the end user, they're confident that it will garner some interested bidders should it be subject for rebidding. Ako naman, in the interest of time, of course, if it will be faster for us to rebid it and then may magjo-join, and that would serve better the purpose of the project, which is to implement it ASAP. Sige, at this juncture, do we have any motion from the members?
Through the chair,
Go ahead, sir.
I would recommend that that we will post for the rebidding.
Thank you, sir. Do you have any second?
Seconded, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. There being a motion duly seconded, let this project entitled Purchase Installation of Meteorological Instrument for Calbayog Airport be subject for rebidding within the timelines provided by the GPPB rules. This will be reposted, Attorney Frank?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, let's just take care of the documentation as soon as we can so that we don't waste time. Thank you po. Thank you, Sir Arnold, for your very helpful feedback.
Thank you, sir.
Sige. Moving forward, do we have anything else for today's agenda? Other matters na to.
Mr. Chair, the TWG would like to present, has 3 items, Mr. Chair. One is for the bid evaluation report for the Bicol International Airport project landscaping. Second is the post-qualification report for the Buckingham Airport Development Project, Phase 3. And the third is the motion for reconsideration of PERRC, if the BAC would allow.
Yeah, I think all of these items are some of the things supposed to be included for the next board meeting, tama? So we really need to deliberate on it.
Yes, sir.
Sige. Attorney Frank, let's proceed, please.
Sir, I will first go to the bid evaluation of the Bicol International Airport. I will share my document now.
Bicol?
Yes, sir. Landscape.
Landscaping. Okay.
So this is for the project Bicol International Airport Development Project for the landscaping works. And the approved budget for the contract is 19,689,754 pesos and 89 centavos. And the opening of bids was conducted last November 3, 2021. So 3 bidders actually signified their intention to participate the bidding process. And all of these bidders, Horizontal Infrastructure Corporation, EJ Cantoria, Construction and Supply, and Rowiza Builders, submitted their bid proposals within the prescribed period. The submitted bids were opened and checked in the presence of bidders' representative, and during the opening of bids, using the non-discretionary pass-fail criteria, only 2 bidders were initially rated as passed for having completed or submitted the documents specified in the checklist. The bid proposal of Verizon Builders was disqualified for failure to submit the list of all ongoing government and private projects. and their motion for reconsideration was likewise denied by the BAC. So for those proposals which were initially rated as pass, the TWG recommended for the conduct of bid evaluation, and which was approved by the Bids and Awards Committee. So here are the findings of our evaluation. The bid proposal of EJ Cantoria Construction and Supply, we cannot determine the calculated bid for it is incomplete, and it is recommended for disqualification. The second bidder is from Versatile Infrastructure, the second lowest submitted bid in the amount of 18,311,472 pesos and 5 centavos. And after arithmetical corrections, the calculated bid now is 18,311,434 pesos and 51 centavos. So the submitted bid is complete. It is the single calculated bid, and it is below the ABC. The bid proposal of Versatile Infrastructure Corporation was ascertained complete. It has all the required items in the detailed estimates as provided in the bid documents. The submission of EJ Cantoria was determined to be incomplete for modification or alteration of forms of CAAP standard forms. So it is expressly provided in ITB 11.1 that any modification and or alteration of the financial bid documents, such as the BOQ, detailed breakdown components of each item, and DUPA, shall not be allowed, and it shall be a ground for disqualification. So the bid proposal is considered, the bid proposal of Versatile is considered the single calculated bid. So with that, Mr. Chair, before I go to the recommendation, I will show the arithmetical corrections for the Versatile Corporation, Infrastructure Corporation. So this is the computation. For the completeness of bids for EJ Cantoria, my God, naghang. So as you can see in the form submitted by EJ Cantoria, yung OCM po nila, naka-indicate po dito, is 0 to 8% of the total direct cost. Yung sa form po natin is 0 to 12% of the total direct cost. Ito po yung form natin dito sa baba as yung ano. So while yung OCM naman nila is nandun sa range 0 to 12, however, we cannot move, or we cannot change or alter yung amount dito, as we do not know which rate or which rate to use, whether 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 8%. So since it is the discretion naman ng bidder kung ano yung percentage na gagamitin nila. Although yung amount naman na naka-indicate dito is 12%, pero yung offered OCM nila is between 0 to 8%. But clearly, this is a modification of form which results to the failure, for the failure of the TWG to obtain the calculated bid. So with that, we are recommending that the bid proposal of EJ Cantoria Construction and Supply be disqualified for offering an incomplete bid, and that the bid proposal of Versatile Infrastructure Corporation to undergo post-qualification process for being evaluated and considered as a single calculated bid in the amount of 18,311,434 pesos and 51 centavos for the Bicol International Airport Development Project landscaping works for approval and consideration of the board.
Thank you, Attorney Frank, for that thorough presentation. Do you have any comments or queries from our members? The TWG has presented the results of their bid evaluation, and they are recommending for the disqualification of EJ Cantoria Construction and Supply, as they have also explained the particular item which they have failed to comply with. And accordingly, they also propose for the conduct of post-qualification process for Horizontal Infrastructure Corporation for having been evaluated as having passed the pass or fail criteria for our bid opening requirements. Do you have any questions or comments from our members?
No comments to the chair?
No comments, sir? Okay. Thank you, sir. From the others? If there's no comments, maybe we can have a motion, please.
To the chair?
Yes, sir.
I move for the approval of the recommendations of the technical working group. For the first is for the disqualifications of AG Cantoria Construction Supply for offering an incomplete bid. And secondly is for the approval of passing the proposed bid of Horizontal Infrastructure Corporations having having provided the complete documents or complete bid documents and recommending for the post qualifications.
All right, thank you for that, sir. Do you have any second? Do you have two motions that were raised? Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Ma'am Dayan. There being motion duly seconded, let the bid proposal of EJ Cantoria Construction and Supply be accordingly declared disqualified for having submitted an incomplete bid. And secondly, for the conduct of post-qualification process for the proposal of Horizontal Infrastructure Corporation for having been evaluated and considered as a single calculated bid in the amount of 18,311,434 pesos and 51 cents. Okay? Sige. Yun, Attorney Frank, conduct the post-qual na kayo. Send out the letters as necessary as soon as possible so that we can comply with the timelines provided.
Yes, sir.
Do you have anything else for other matters?
Yes, sir. We go now to the second report that we're going to present, sir. The post-qualification report for the Buckingham Airport Development Project, Phase 3. So, the ABC of the project is 1,30,490,650 pesos and 11 centavos. So we opened the bids last October 4, and the name of the bidder with the lowest calculated bid for this particular post-qualification process is Edwinson Development and Construction Incorporated. The LCB is 750,358,757 pesos. So here are the findings. First, for the eligibility documents, they submitted the PhilJEP Certificate of Registration and Membership. It's valid until July 9, 2021. Still during the opening and the conduct of the post-qualification is valid, and they renewed this one, so it is responsive. Registration of Certificate of Registration from SEC. They also submitted the SEC registration, and it is dated 13 June 2017, so it is responsive. Business or mayor's permit. The submission of Edwinson is the mayor's permit issued by the LGU of Quezon City, and it is valid until 31 December 2021, so it is responsive. For tax clearance, the tax clearance submitted tax clearance was issued last 29 October 2020 and invalid until 29 October 2021. So it was valid during the opening of bids, and they submitted an updated tax clearance, which is now valid until 18 October 2022. So it is responsive. For the valid pickup license, the requirement for the project is category AAA large B for road, highway, pavement, railway, airport, horizontal structures, and bridges. Edwinson submitted a large B category AAA, so it is compliant. We also required category AA large A for buildings and industrial plant. Edwinson submitted large A category AA for the same requirement. And the pickup license is valid until 30 June 2022, so the submission is responsive. For statement of all its ongoing government and private contracts, it is not responsive. Edwardson Development Corporation, a construction corporation, failed to disclose all of its ongoing projects. But we we will provide later the listing of the DPWH project. For the SLCC, they submitted they identified two projects. First is the design and build for the construction of the proposed land development project, Belize North residential houses, and construction of concrete roads, including ROQ, Zamboanga del Sur Coastal Road Package 2. So, upon evaluation, these two projects complied with the requirements for the Buckingham project. So, these are responsive. For the audited financial statement, the submission is for the fiscal year 2019-2020, and it is stamped received by the BIR last 24 May 2021, so it is responsive. The bidder's computation of net financial capacity, the NFCC is more than the ABC, which is 4,993,789 pesos and 39 pesos and 88 centavos. So it is responsive. So JV is not applicable in this case. For the technical document, bid security, they submitted a duly notarized bid securing declaration, so it is responsive. Organizational chart, the submission met the minimum required technical personnel as per invitation to bid, so it is responsive. List of contractors personnel, it is also responsive as it is in accordance with the invitation to bid, the requirements as per invitation to bids. List of contractors' equipment, it is also responsive as the minimum required was met. For the omnibus sworn statement, it is responsive. They submitted a duly notarized sworn statement. Certificate of site inspection, they submitted the certificate site inspection, and it was issued last September 24, 2021, so it is responsive. Photocopy of the company ID of the one who inspected the site, Mr. Richard Vanario, was attached, so it is responsive. Photocopy of airport visitors logbook in accordance with the BDS Clause 6.3, they submitted the CAAP logbook, so it is responsive. Bid bulletin is not applicable in this case. So financial bid, the offered bid is 70 million, 750 million, 51,581 pesos and 86 centavos, and the calculated bid is 750 million, 358,757 pesos. For the bill of quantities, it is in accordance with the Philippine bidding form, so it is responsive. For the bid proposal, it is also in accordance with the bidding form, so it is responsive. Detailed estimates, it is also in accordance with the bidding form, so it is responsive. Summary sheets indicating construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rates, these are all in accordance with the Section 9 bidding form, so responsive. Cash flow by quarter, they submitted the document in accordance with the form, so it is responsive. So for the post-qualification documents, latest income tax, they submitted the income tax for the period December 2020. Other appropriate licenses, they submitted an updated field use registration, a pickup license, SEC registration, mayor's permit, and tax clearance. So it is responsive. Latest audited financial statement, same submission, 2019-2020, so it is responsive. So key personnel, the licenses and accreditations were submitted, and they are all responsive. So The only problem for the Edwinson Development Corporation is that in the list of ongoing projects, they only submitted three ongoing projects. However, during our post-qualification visit and validation, we found out that there are other projects which are not disclosed in the list of ongoing projects, such as projects in DPWH, and we will show later the list of, I'll show na lang po. Wait. So this is the list of ongoing projects as provided by the DPWH. There are actually a number of, these are 56 pages po to lahat, and marami pong projects dito na mention na wala po doon sa tatlong ongoing projects na nilista lang ng DPWH po, ng Edwinson sa submission po nila. So, marami po dito sa mga projects na to, may mga negative slippages, negative 8, 9, negative 20, such as this project po. Let me point out this. Construction of Odyongan Bypass Road Phase 4, Odyongan Romblon. So, under letter D, yung negative slippage po niya is negative 96.57. This project is suspended due to the road right-of-way ongoing negotiation with lot owner. Revised plan accomplishment is 0%. So, although mayroong namang mga reasons kung bakit, but still, they failed to disclose this in the list of ongoing projects po. And this listing po will be attached in our report. So, as per GPPB policy number, non-policy matter number 06/2018, failure to declare an ongoing government and private contract, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid, is a ground for disqualification. These contracts, as reflected in the statement of all ongoing contracts, are vital to the computation of the net financial contracting capacity of the bidder, and they are necessary information during the post-qualification stage to verify, validate, and ascertain the technical qualification of the lowest calculated bidder for the ultimate determination whether it is the lowest calculated and responsive bidder. So, with that, Mr. Chair, the technical working group is hereby recommending that the bid proposal of Edwinson Development Construction Incorporated be post-disqualified for non-disclosure of all its ongoing projects. And we are likewise recommending that the third lowest calculated bidder, in this case, Mark Built Construction Trading and Development Corporation, China Construction First Group Corporation Limited, Dyson Construction and Trading Corporation Consortium, to undergo post-qualification process for consideration and approval of the BAC.
Thank you, TWG. Can we scroll back again to the justification? To the ground cited there. Yeah, I asked for this because I was contemplating earlier regarding the significance of having to disclose all the projects. And apparently it's not just that it's being required for them to declare them, but it's for the reason of the determination and computation of the net financial contracting capacity. So that if they don't disclose it, it's already some form of disinformation on their end regarding their financial capacity. Sige, do we have any comments or questions from our members regarding this finding? If there's none, maybe we can have a motion, please. Attorney Frank, this was determined during your post-qual visit?
Yes, sir. We were able to identify, or during the visit, sir, they mentioned some projects which are not included. So we verified with other government agencies implementing projects such as DPWH and NIA. So we only obtained the list from the DPWH, sir. We requested from NIA, sir, pero wala pa po kaming na-receive na comments. But nevertheless, the listing provided by the DPWH is more than sufficient to prove that there was indeed non-disclosure of
Okay.
some of the projects.
So this was an official listing from DPWH that we're basing it on.
Yes, sir. We actually sent a letter signed by Captain Don, sir,
Okay.
requesting for this.
And based on their listing, there are some items that were not stated in the submissions.
That's correct, sir.
Okay. Sige. Members, any other comments? Or motion, if any?
To the chair.
Yes, ma'am?
Yes, I move for the declaration of the disqualification of the bid of Edison Development and Construction being non-responsive, and that for post-qual of Mark Build Construction Trading being the third lowest calculated. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Joyce. Is there any second?
I second.
Second.
Thank you, ma'am. There being a motion, duly seconded, the recommendation is hereby adopted for the disqualification of Edwanson Development and Construction Incorporated for non-disclosure of all its ongoing projects. And second, for the conduct of post-qualification evaluation for the bid of Mark Built Construction Trading and Development Corp., China Construction First Group Corp. Limited, and Dyson Construction and Trading Corp. Consortium for being the next in line for the evaluation. Okay? DWG, kindly conduct the necessary communications to initiate the post-qual, as well as the necessary notification for the one that was disqualified.
Will comply, Mr.
Right.
Chair.
Thank you. Is there anything else?
Last, Mr. Chair, is the motion for reconsideration of PERRC.
This is also Bukidnon.
In relation to Bukidnon Airport Development Project, sir.
Dapat pala inuna nyo to. Sige.
So, be it recalled, Mr. Chair, that the technical working group recommended for the disqualification of PERRC during post-qualification on the ground that they failed to submit on time or there was no submission for the post-qualification documents. And the recommendation of the TWG was adopted by and approved by the Bids and Awards Committee. However, on November 8, the back office received a letter coming from the PERRC and signed by Mr. Noel Buenaventura, authorized representative for PERRC. So they are, the motion actually, Mr. Chair, asserts that the grounds for disqualification has no legal basis. Time element is very essential. So they are saying here that upon the careful review of the post-disqualification letter, we found it unproven as it bears no legal grounds to support your findings by stressing that we failed to submit on time of the needed post-qualification documents in determining the legal grounds prescribed in Rule 10, Section 34.5 of the 2016 Revised Implementing Rules and Regulations of RA 9184. There is that legal reference of the necessity of time element stated under the rule, the same rule in section 34.2 thereof, which states to it, within 5 calendar days from receipt of the bidder of the notice from the BAC that the bidder with the lowest calculated bid, higher rated bid, the bidder shall submit to the BAC its latest income and business tax, so and so. The failure to submit any of the post-qualification requirements on time or finding against the veracity thereof shall disqualify the bidder. But, however, nothing in your letter of any indicative reckoning period or time on which it would be your basis in establishing the grounds that we failed to submit the required documents on time. So, That's why they are asking for reconsideration, Mr. Chair. But for the TWG, Mr. Chair, to date, Mr. Chair, the BAC Secretariat and the back office has not received any documents coming from PERRC for their post-qualification document submission. So the assertion of PERRC has no basis as well. In fact, Mr. Chair, we verified with the owner of the PERRC. May I request the Secretariat to share the email of verification, please? We verified the motion, the submitted motion for reconsideration, Mr. Chair, to the owner of PERRC, Mr. Nazal, and our email reads as follow. The BAC Charlie Secretariat received the attached motion for consideration of PERRC in relation to your company's post-disqualification for the Bukidnon Airport Development Project Phase 3. May we respectfully get your confirmation on the said filed PERC motion for reconsideration. So we sent it last November 8 as well, on the day we received the MR, and the owner of the company immediately replied, Mr. Chair. Next slide, please. Next email, please. The response of Mr. Nazal. So this is the reply of the owner of PERC. To the BAC Secretariat, this is to formally inform you that our company did not file a motion for reconsideration with regard to the Bukidnon Airport development, with regard to the Bukidnon project, and the person who signed the attached MR is not in any way connected to our company. Our designated authorized managing officer is Mr. Wilfredo R. San. Sincerely, Robert Nazal. So, apart from that, Mr. Chair, in the authorized signatory, authority of signatory, secretary certificate, which is attached to the omnibus sworn statement submitted by the PERC, it is stated here that resolve that PERC Construction and Development Corporation be as it hereby authorized to participate in the bidding of bidding reference number 21-018-09 Charlie Bukidnon Airport Development Project Phase 3 Passenger Terminal Building, runway strip, runway extension, 2 units, pipe conduit, box culvert, and runway markings at Barangay Maray, Don Carlos, Bukidnon by the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines. And in that, if awarded, the project shall enter into a contract with the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines, and in connection therewith, hereby appoints Mr. Noel S. Buenaventura, acting as duly authorized and designated representative of the PERC Construction and Development Corporation, and granted full powers and authority to do, sign the bidding documents and ensuing contract, execute and perform any and all acts necessary to do necessary and or to represent Jebron Builders Development Corporation. So in this document, Mr. Chair, Mr. Noel S. Buenaventura is authorized to represent. However, he is not authorized to sign for PERRC, but he is only authorized to sign for Jebron Builders Development Corporation. So With that, Mr. Chair, all this being considered, the technical working group hereby recommends to deny the motion for consideration of PERRC on the basis that it has no legal grounds.
All right, thank you, Attorney Frank. Can you flash again the email correspondence you made? This is quite alarming. So the owner of the company is directly denying their connections to this person and this whoever is submitting these bids.
Apparently, Mr. Chair, yes.
So it's clear falsification already, and that's already fraud. This is quite serious. But in any case, first and foremost, we need to act on the motion for reconsideration. The motion for reconsideration being based solely on the requirement of on the period requirement, right? Sabi,
Yes, sir.
they're saying that we did not provide a period. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. But it is clear in our letter, sir, that they are given only 5 days from receipt to submit the documents, and they confirmed the letter through an email, sir.
And to date, they have not submitted.
The back secretariat and the back office has officially not received any communications or submissions from PERRC for that matter, sir.
Okay, that alone already merits the denial of their MR. So, on top of that, this is this authority of signatory or sexcert is in their documents. Where did you find this?
It is included in their submitted technical component, Mr. Chair, as an attachment to the omnibus sworn statement.
So apparently, a third party is submitting documents for a particular contractor. Is that correct? Is that how it's interpreted?
It would appear that way, sir, that a third party is submitting.
Has this happened before?
None that I encountered, sir.
Okay. Well, for the record, again, I'm just emphasizing, hindi ko po kilala yung Noel Benaventura na yan. Kaapelido ko lang po. Hindi ko po siya kilala. Second, is it possible for us to have some sort of investigation on this matter? Maybe we can coordinate this with the security service, that we can look into this. Because if this is happening, it's very alarming. Meaning third parties are submitting documents for other contractors without their consent. And it's getting through, not only did it go through bid evaluation, it went through post-qualification. Umaabot siya ng post-qual, peke pala lahat. That's not normal and that's not good. So we need to have this investigated. So let's already coordinate this, please. And regarding the motion, if there's no objection, ma'am and sir, I'm already deciding. Let's deny this already. Because this is too much. Can we possibly also get the maybe some affirmation or confirmation from the said owner regarding the other documents that were submitted? Para we have all the necessary records to initiate maybe some legal action against this Noel Buenaventura.
Yes, sir, we will.
Yeah, that's on the record. We're gonna file an action against this Noel Buenaventura for having falsified these documents. Okay? Sige. That being said, let the motion be denied as recommended.
To the chair, question lang
Yes,
po.
ma'am.
Sir, yung ito bang email nito ni Mr. Bert Narsal, we take it as official, yung email.
Frank?
If I may, sir. Yes, sir. We consider this an official communication from the bidder because, ma'am, in our letter, post-qual letter, we address in the letter to Mr. Nasal, Attorney Irish. Can we show the letter? And it is also attention to Mr. Sun, Sun, right? Sun.
Wilfredo San.
Yeah.
Frank, the MR was also signed by Buenaventura, right?
Yes, Mr. Chair, the MR was signed by, is signed by Mr. Buenaventura. And Mr. Nazal, the owner, denies the connection of Buenaventura and the authority of Buenaventura to file the motion, sir.
Attorney Frank, first of all, yung submissions nila doon sa Juan, na hindi nila na-meet yung nag-submit sila ng documents, no? Sino ang Juan? Na-trace ba natin kung sino yung tao ang nag-submit? Ito ba yung sinabit nilang documents sa ADMS?
Yes, sir, they submitted it to ADMS, but the back, I mean, we do not consider it, sir, as a proper and as a proper submission. That's why we do not consider it as a submission, sir, at all. Kasi nandun din po sa rules ng GPP, sa IRR, sir, to submit to the back secretariat yung yung post-qualification documents.
Yes, and perusal of their MR, they did not even raise that, I think, as a ground.
They did not, sir.
What they raise as a ground is that yung wala naman daw period na
Yes.
requirement, which in the contrary, our letter states 5 days.
I stand corrected.
Lumalabas na nag-accede si Juan, yung owner ng PRRC?
No, in my understanding, it appears that they did not even know na merong bidding, tama ba?
It would appear, sir, na parang...
Ginamit na yung pangalan nila.
Kasi, sir, yung post-qualification letter, we address it to Mr. Sun pala, Mr. Sun. And then, we sent the letter to Mr. Sun through PERRC, but walang reply si PERRC. But yung sumagot is yung submitted lang dito sa ADMS, which we do not consider as submission. So, yun, parang officially, wala naman talagang sagot si PERRC doon sa post-qualification letter po natin. Pero, merong ibang sumagot, which is not PERRC. That is why, sir, we confirm doon sa owner kung nag-file ba sila.
Lumalabas tuloy na yung PRRC, yung owner, mukha hindi niya alam na ginamit yung company name niya.
Parang ganun na nga din po, sir.
May posibilidad kasi na gamitin lang yung company name mo.
Pero kasi ma'am, if you think about it, what they showed, they even submitted falsified documents. In this case, it's a secretary certificate that's purportedly from PERRC, but obviously it's not, with the typo correction of Gebron Builders Development sa baba, signed by a person who is also not the authorized signature of PERRC. So that's just one document. They could have falsified the rest of it. Diba? And without us knowing, unless we look into it further.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. In any case, even without all of this, the MR is really without merit in the first place dahil wala pa rin naman silang sinasabit na documents officially. So,
Yes, sir.
so denied naman talaga yung MR. But it's good that you raised this so that we can address this issue because this shouldn't be left unchecked. We'll discuss this siguro in a separate meeting with the management and with the security services so we can know what to do about it. But with regard to the MR, considering that it is without merit, we can already deny it. Okay naman yun. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Sige. Yun lang, meron pa ba?
None from the TWG, sir.
From the members, do you have anything to raise? Secretariat, kailan ang next meeting natin?
Next meeting, sir, will be on Friday, 10 a.m. for the opening for Sangli and 2 p.m. for Lang, sir.
Yeah, apologies. I will be in Bohol for Friday for the OSS opening. I was tasked to be there. I'll join online since it's an important opening. But I request the other members, maybe some of you can be physically present to check the documents. But I will be there online.
We will coordinate with the
Sige.
members, sir.
Importante talaga meron tao dito to check to see the documents are all in order. All right, thank you. If there's nothing else in the agenda, we can adjourn the meeting. Maraming salamat everyone for joining. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you too.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Dayan, Ma'am Vani.
Thank you.